Greetings everybody, and welcome to video 1 in our 28 Days to Freedom Master series. I'm really pleased that you're here, and I'm looking forward to unpacking this first D in our D squared ARPS method. When you think about freedom, everybody has their own idea of what freedom looks like. For some, it's laying on a beach in the Caribbean, looking at their favorite sunset, sipping their favorite beverage. For others, it may be spending time with family or maybe traveling the world. So everybody has their own idea of what freedom looks like. I know my father-in-law has this idea of wanting to be in a cabin in a beautiful setting, writing a book or writing newsletters. That's his idea. But when you take a closer look and you unpack what freedom really is, there's 7 types of freedom. There's 2 that most of us are all familiar with. There's financial freedom, which the world is busy about trying to achieve. If you listen to the background noise here in the city that I'm in right now, San Francisco, people are hustling and bustling, going about their day trying to achieve that one main financial goal in hopes that it will answer all their problems and solve all their challenges. The second element of freedom is what we call time freedom, and that's the one most people think of when they think of freedom, is having the time to enjoy their lives. The third type of freedom is mental freedom. So many people are bound mentally in their minds, not able to enjoy their life that they've been given. The fourth is an emotional freedom, right? How many times have we come across people that are really emotionally bound up and dramatizing things? They're just not able to really enjoy their life. We have also what are called physical freedom, right? That's a 2-component part. There's the physical health side, right? Having the health to enjoy life. And the other, for some people in the world, they're actually in a form of slavery. They're not able to enjoy physical freedom and the ability to move about their lives and move where they want to move. They're actually physically detained in a jail or in a prison or sometimes in a slave market. So there's that physical aspect. 6th is relational freedom, is the freedom to have the kind of relationships that help us flourish and grow. So many people are bound up in relationships that hinder them. They're afraid of stepping out or saying something. They're bound, again, in their emotions, if you will, in a relationship that can truly be themselves. And the 7th is spiritual freedom. So few talk about spiritual freedom, but there's an aspect of the spiritual domain that when we understand it properly, we can begin to experience the spiritual freedom that truly we have been called and destined to enjoy. Now, when you look at all those, they're actually all related and contingent upon one another, right? If you don't have financial freedom, it's very difficult to find the time freedom because you're so busy working. But when you look at the freedom, and the one thing that seems to be an enemy to freedom all throughout the world is in our first D squared ARPS method. The first D in that D is dark forces. Now, all around us, it sounds strange, but we have good and evil, right? We have good things, bad things. There are actually, even in space, we have dark matter. We've got black holes, right? So there's this dark force that is at work in the world. And if we don't understand the fact that it's operating in our lives, it's this dark force that keeps us from enjoying the freedom. It's this dark force that stays us bound to habits, or chained or enslaved to habits and ways of thinking that hold us in this cage, hold us hostage from enjoying true freedom. And this is something that very few people talk about or address. And it's because they don't understand it. 2, they're afraid if they bring this up, what would people think? How would they react? And they themselves are enslaved to a way of thinking and a way of believing that keeps them from sharing these truths. I used to work in the success industry. I traveled with Jim Rohn and promoted Tony Robbins and Les Brown and some of the biggest names out there. I've had the opportunity to work with some very successful people like Larry Thompson, who literally dominated the network marketing industry and created $30 million empires. I had the chance to travel with Jim Rohn and learn the philosophies of success and what it took to truly succeed. But even amongst all of those people learning all those things, The freedom that I enjoyed, the success that I enjoyed was escaping me, and I didn't understand why. Why was it that some people were achieving it all around me and I wasn't? What was wrong? And so my research began to go deeper and deeper until finally one day it was uncovered out of my own life experience what was holding me back. And that's what we want to share with you, is what you need to do to overcome these dark forces. Now, down below this video, there's a link where you can download your own copy of The Dark Forces. It's sort of an assessment to look at your life and see, are there dark forces operating in my life? Are there things holding me back? I can promise you that if you're here with me today watching this video, the reason you're here is not by accident. There are forces at work in your life and around you that are keeping you hostage from enjoying the true life you have been called to enjoy. And so I want to encourage you to download that packet, go through the assessment, evaluate, and be honest with yourself what the forces are that are at work in your life. Because if you don't realize that there are dark forces operating, you'll spend your whole life trying to achieve something that you'll never be able to enjoy, because these forces are in effect. However, if you recognize that they're working, that they're there in your life, that's the first step you need to begin overcoming and conquering these forces. In our 28 Days to Freedom course, we go into depth in how to deal and break these dark forces and put away with them, and how to put a check system in your mind and your heart to constantly evaluate whether they're trying to come back and influence you once you become free from them. But until you understand that, hey, I've got dark forces operating in my life, you're never going to go and take the steps necessary to overcome them. You know, it's sort of like in AA, the first step in Alcoholics Anonymous is acknowledging and admitting you have a problem. Once you've done that, you have set yourself on a course for freedom. And it's the same thing with our lives. Once we acknowledge and recognize that there are forces opposing us and keeping us from experiencing the freedom that we want to enjoy, then we can actually set aside and begin to develop a plan and execute on a plan to eliminating those dark forces. We see this all throughout history, right? In the battles that have gone on between countries where one country wants freedom from the oppression, and so what they do is they develop a strategy to overcome the enemy, and then they execute on that. Well, in order to do that, you need to know what the enemy is. You need to know how he's coming against you or coming against you, and you also need to develop and understand where their weaknesses are. What is it that they're not going to be able to deal with and overcome? Once you've got that plan, then you can execute on it. And in our 28 Days to Freedom course, which we'll be sharing later on in this program, we go into deep dive depth on that particular subject. That's the first subject we deal with, because if you don't deal with these dark forces, it doesn't matter what goal setting program you use, it doesn't matter what softwares you buy, it doesn't matter what network marketing or opportunities you sign up for. This is not network marketing, by the way, I'm just using it as an example. But it doesn't matter what courses, program, workshops, doesn't matter what you do, you can gain all of that. Excuse me. You can gain all that knowledge and still be stuck. So, download the Dark Forces Assessment. Go through it before our next video series and get clear on what aspects, what forces are at work in your life, so that you can begin your journey towards freedom. Now, in our next video, I'm going to uncover the second D in our D squared ARPS method, so that you can begin to get some hope and some life breathed into you. Many of you who are here are stuck in life. Maybe you're frustrated. Maybe you're disappointed with where you are, or maybe you feel hopeless. And I want to encourage you and give you some hope that no matter where you are, no matter how old you are or how young you are, there is still hope for your life. You can still experience, excuse me, you can still experience the freedom and the joy that life has for you. And so I look forward to meeting with you again on our next journey, to seeing you on the next video when we unpack the second D in our D squared ARPS method. Until then, have an incredible day, a wonderful week, and I'll look forward to connecting with you on our next video. Until then, continue your journey onward and upward, my friend.